What can each of us do to fight the climate crisis? In this week's Asian Insider, we asked experts about the individual actions that can make a difference. Something that can easily be done using reusable bags, cups and cutlery instead of disposables. You could also try walking or cycling or using public transport instead of driving. And you can be a conscious consumer by checking if products come from sustainable sources. Let's bring in Assistant News Editor and Science and Environment Correspondent Audrey Tan. Audrey, the effects of climate change can be felt by all of us all around the world. How can an individual make a difference and how important is it to do it collectively?
Hey Jan, thanks for the question. So I think when it comes to talking about climate crisis, it's important that we all realize that the cause of it is largely state and corporate actors because of the burning of fossil fuels and deforestation. But of course, talking about like this scale of this problem can often be very disempowering to individuals. So we thought that, we could highlight various steps that individuals can take. And why this is important is because, as one of our interviewees did point out, governments manifest the political will of the people. Corporates respond to changes in demand from their consumers. So it's important that all of us start doing our part to kind of nudge the green transition along and make things to effect a change. But of course, that is not to say we are discounting the impacts that state and corporate actors should be able to act on the climate change by switching away from fossil fuels and to stop deforesting land and so on.
Audrey, besides doing something about it, talking about climate change is as important. Are you seeing more Singaporeans lending their voices to the discussion?
Yes, for sure. So, in that kind of board game theme that climate change editor David Fogarty and I worked on, we highlighted different steps that individuals can take to helping nudge the green transition along, starting from the very easy, low-hanging fruit like cultivating awareness, all the way to speaking up. And when it comes to speaking up, having reported on the environment in Singapore for almost 9 years now, I would say that there has been like such a ground-up movement in so many different ways. Initially, there was a lot of talk from the nature community. There's a lot of activities in terms of creating awareness about wildlife. But now we are seeing other kinds of groups coming up talking about climate change, climate crisis, and the young people recently, like just last week or just earlier this week, in fact, they did a report highlighting the links between the fossil fuel industry and their universities. So I would say there's really a huge groundswell now, ranging from all age groups. People often think the climate crisis is being spoken up by young ones, but that's not really the case. Coming across from all age groups, different types of environmental communities. So it's no longer just nature, but now it's also people that are looking at things like recycling, things at fossil fuel links. So there's definitely a huge momentum now from the ground up.
Audrey, always a pleasure to have you on the show to talk about this. Assistant News Editor and Science and Environment Correspondent Audrey Tan. For more ways you can make a difference on climate change, look for Audrey's articles at straitstimes.com/climate-change. You'll also find videos, interactives and explainers on climate change.